Hi, I need to talk about what's probably the most controversial way of setting up goals for the new year. Now, it's almost New Year's Eve. Probably your social media platforms are flooded with videos on how to best set up your New Year resolution, what's the best journal, what's the best method, and all of that. But this year, I want to try something new, and as I said, a bit controversial. But please hear me out and wait until the end of the video before you tell me I'm completely wrong. For me, the best way of setting up goals and setting up my New Year resolutions this year will be to not do it. But wait, don't leave yet, just let me tell you why. I'm not saying it's not useful to have goals. I'm not saying you shouldn't have resolutions in your life, something to aim and direct your life and what you do. Setting up these New Year resolutions can help you out, set up priorities, organize your year, and kind of follow a path for something that you want to do. Maybe there is something you want to change in your life, and these usually are really helpful. And on these videos that I'm mentioning, you'll hear it over and over. Setting up New Year resolutions is the best way to set up for success in the new year. But we'll agree that most of the times you set up goals on the 1st of January and by February 1st, you've already forgotten about them. They usually lead to frustration, they usually lead to guilt because you are not able to follow them or to fulfill them by the end of the year. So what's the point? It's also true that sometimes you set up a goal at the beginning of the year and you are able to complete it, but it adds an extra layer of pressure to yourself that possibly you don't really need. And let me tell you an example. So one of my goals of 2022 was to read 30 books. Now, I have a good reading habit, I already read, but I wanted to push myself a little bit further because the previous year I had read 24 books and I just wanted to read a bit more. So 30 books. The thing is that by July I realized that I wasn't on track with my goal. So instead of choosing books that I really wanted to read and that I've had on my list forever, I chose shorter books that I wanted to read as well, but because they were shorter and I could read them much quicker, they were a better option to accomplish my goal. And I'm not saying I haven't enjoyed reading, but at some point I was just reading to fulfill my goal, and that wasn't the point. And I realized I've completely done this wrong. I didn't want to read more. I don't want to read more. I want to read better. I want to read because I enjoy it. I want to read because it makes me happy, and reading more won't make me happier. This is a goal I won't have ever again in my life. I already have a reading habit, so no one cares if I read 10 books, 50 or just 2. So that's my story. Now, I'm not saying to not have goals in your life, but what's the point of resetting your life every January 1st? What's the difference between the last day of the year and the first day of the next year? There's nothing there. There isn't a difference. Why should you reset your life, forget about the goals that you had the previous year, and set up new goals and new resolutions and start over? It doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have goals in your life. I'm just saying to reconsider what it means to have them on January 1st. Try to set them up on February 6th or March 15th, or just think about monthly goals or weekly goals or daily goals. And no one will punish you and no one will really care, only you. So although it's good to have that motivation, something to push you throughout the year, what I'm telling you is to not have that pressure, that frustration or that guilt if you are not able to accomplish them. So I just want to leave you with a couple of thoughts. First of all, do you need new goals? Do you need new resolutions? What's the big difference between the last day of the year or today with what will happen on January 1st? What's the big difference? Can you just take a goal or a resolution that you have, or just not have any and continue with your life and just flow with it and don't worry too much about what you have to accomplish in a year? Can you do that? And the second thing is that if you really want goals, if you really want a resolution, or you want to have a change in your life, try to think in smaller chunks. So instead of thinking, oh, I need a new year resolution, something to push me throughout the year, something that I want to accomplish by December next year, just try to think about something smaller, something more achievable that you can accomplish by February 1st, for instance, or by, I don't know, January 15th. I know the change won't be that much, but thinking that ahead of time, it can be frustrating, it will be difficult to see the changes, and my honest advice is to just take it one day at a time. I know this video has been a bit all over the place. It was just something that I wanted to talk about because I keep seeing these videos over and over, and to be honest, I'm a bit tired of them. I hope you have a great beginning of the year. I hope if you set up resolutions, if you set up goals, if you don't, just be happy with it and be content and just start the year as you live it, or even better. I'll see you in the next video and have a happy new year. Bye!